what's poppin'? What it is, what it ain't, what it could be, what it should be, what it would be. Cam Newton and Son, it's the Boogie to All. Here with another episode of Funky Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, I promise. I really do promise to give good content for the masses, but most of all, I promise to keep it funky for your ass sets. I'm on the pursuit of self-growth. I'm trying not to curse, with the involvement of making me a better version of me. So when I say ass, I have to put the suffix of that sets. I'm working. I really am. But speaking of working, it was a work to get my next guest here. Lord have mercy. And this is a thing that I really enjoy because months, I would say years, she finally came, right? The person who I'm talking about is an actress, a songwriter, as well as a musical talent and singer. And we've been vibing out to her new single, Come Here, Babe. I'm gonna leave the singing to her. I present to some and introduce to others, Mrs. the beautiful Keri Hilson.
Hey.
Twin, how you been? Where you been? Why you been ducking and dodging and flodging? And that's the Florida, but.
I have not been ducking and dodging. It just, but you know, I believe in timing. I believe in you know, because it feels right now, don't it?
Right.
It feels right. It feels probably better than, and I'm like, for a lot of reasons, it just feels like the perfect time to be doing this.
Feels
you know
right.
what I mean?
It feels good. You got good energy.
Thank you.
Likewise. Let's start with it. Like this, what projects you're working on? I know you're excited about a lot, and transparently speaking, as preparing for this, I wanted to hear this single. And I told you it's crushing music. It's like, it's blushing music. You said crush, I said blush. Blushing is, there's certain songs that no matter who and what done what to who, you can send certain songs and be like, hey, boom, it'll always keep you in the game. This song that you just created is one of them.
Oh, okay.
It's one of them.
I don't know if a song, it depends on my relationship with that person. Could they send me this record and have that power? Like, I don't know if any song holds that power. But I like the concept. I like the idea.
You know what it's about? It's not just the song alone.
Yeah.
It's the experience attached to the song.
Oh, okay.
So where y'all was probably going to dinner, this was the song that was playing.
I see, okay.
While y'all was on vacation, this was the song that, you know what I'm saying? While y'all was at brunch, man, this just made that two-step or that lemon drop or that, you know what I mean?
I see, okay.
It just made it hit even more, you feel what I'm saying?
I do.
Music could do that.
I do, it will do that. It will do that.
So that's what I mean by blushing music.
I got it. I've never heard that, so this was the first day.
Oh man, I could put you on.
That I've heard blushing music. You have a playlist called Blushing?
I don't. I need to. But there's certain songs, as soon as I mean blushing, like, where do I begin?
Okay.
But enough about me, more about you. And this is the reason why we're here. All right, Keri, you're by way of Decatur, where it's greater.
Yes.
And I've always, like, you've surpassed the 285 round.
Right.
And those from Atlanta understand that. It's like, bro, I be having conversations with people. It's like, bro, I'm College Park, but my name holds weight outside of 285.
Yeah, that's an interesting. I've never heard anything put like that.
That's the second thing. Like, I'm trying to tell you, like, how was it? Like, how was that transition for you? Hit that subscribe button. Back to the show.
Coming into popularity, coming into
fame. But you still being true to your Atlanta roots.
That was easy. I would say I never felt like I ever needed to be anything other than myself. Being, you know, born and raised in Decatur. And I think it's in part to the fact that Atlanta was just ready for Atlanta stuff. I mean, the world was ready for Atlanta-ness by the time I came out. You know what I mean? They had Usher, they had Sierra, they had Outkast. Like, it was so many other artists that came before me in this city.
Who was rich in their own right.
Yeah. Like, so much greatness preceded Keri Hilson.
Right.
So I never felt like I needed to, like, not be Atlanta, you know? So that was really cool.
Let me ask you this, because why you go with your whole name and not just Keri?
That's funny.
Because it's like you can't say, yo, I'm with Keri.
Yeah.
And no disrespect.
You gotta say
but
both.
It's like, you gotta say,
Yeah.
Keri
I hate
Hilson.
it too. I mean, I wouldn't denounce like my last name, especially now that my dad's gone. Like, I love it more now. But I was always saying, like, I fought my label about it. Back then it was Interscope and Timbaland and Polo. I was in a joint venture deal and I was like trying to like win that fight. Like, I don't think there are any Keris, guys. There was Carrie Underwood. So that was the argument they used to make me lose, because they're like, no, we want to make sure you're identified as, you know. So, yeah, I just wanted to be, I even thought about changing my name for this go-round to be like, just call me Keri. I like my name.
Really? Like a whole image change?
Yeah. I've really put thought into that. But then I'm like, I mean, the good other thing that would come out of that is that I could like check into hotels and restaurants. But I don't think I could ever really shake Hilson. So if I'm now, my name is forever gonna be.
For sure, it's gonna ring bells.
It's forever gonna be.
It's crazy. Like even to that point, we recently just had Hitmaker on.
Okay.
And he did the transition. He went from Young Bird to Iceberg to, Bird to Hitmaker. And then it's like all those are the same individuals. So it could be done, but there's, other individuals that has just had that same name and you've seen them evolve, you know what I'm saying, over time.
Yeah, look at Ye, look at Hove, like there's a lot of.
It's a slew of them.
Yeah, it could happen. But I just think I feel like even in airports and stuff, I'm forever gonna hear my first and last name and feel like it's a teacher.
For sure, you're in trouble or something.
Yeah. Or my mom, well, no, she puts the middle name in there, but yeah.
So why now? Why come back out with music? Is there this phase of, I was doing the research and saying like you have 2 studio albums. This will be your 3rd coming out. Like, why the wait? Is it contractually? Is it a feeling thing? Did you have to go through certain things? Did you have to come out? Like, what was it?
A little bit of both, because honestly, it was contractual. It was contractual in the moment, and in hindsight, it was energetic. It was spiritual.
Right.
It was Keri, the human, had to also do some growing and reflecting and healing and all of that. You know what I mean? But yes, in the moment, it was contractual. Like I say in I kind of rolled out my comeback in these episodes. I shot it like a film, but we released it like a series called the Me versus Me series. We Need to Talk. It was me talking to myself.
Wow.
And I say in that, what did I say? I'm not gonna get it verbatim, but to paraphrase, I say, we did sing, we just couldn't release it. And that was really my story. Like I have so many records from then all the way to now. It's been 14 years, I think, of just recording, and so much music, so much everything.
But this is a me question. It's like, there's no denying your skill and your ability to really sing. No auto-tune, no assistance, no GMO, no artificial flavor. Like you can really sing.
Thank you.
But being away from the art or the game for so long, like what does your typical day look like? Do you go to the studio? Do you send voice notes to yourself? Like, do you write? Like what?
Yep.
How has this time off been for you?
There were years, honestly, Cam, where it was silent. Like my life for a good several years was radio silent. I did not listen to music. I did not hum even. I didn't sing in the shower, and that's something that was weird to me. I grew up doing that. Unless I was like forced to hear music in a restaurant or elevator, I didn't know what was happening on the charts in the industry, like who was, I might have like a surface indication of what was happening, like when Bruno Mars came out. There were things happening that I would be aware of.
Yeah.
yeah, life was very, very silent. I lost love for music for a good while, which is something I never expected to do, but that happened. That happened because I was feeling very stagnant. I was feeling very stuck, very captured.
But what situation made you that? There's two things that I'm leading towards,
Okay.
but the one is what situation or who made you like step back?
Initially, it was me. It was me. At the height of Pretty Go Rock, the height of my success, not even Pretty Go Rock. I think One Night Stand was after that. The person who has a really, really good memory is not in this freaking room right now, but I believe it was, around that second album, for sure.
Yeah.
At the height of the second album, height of success for me, I needed to step back. I had been writing since I got my first writing placement at 17. Pretty Go Rock, I was early 20s, mid 20s maybe I think later. 27, 28 when I stepped away, or whatever year that was, however old I was. But I think I was like around there, like maybe 27, 28.
Now take me there.
Okay.
I want to start there. And what was it about it that you said, no, I gotta go find Keri. Like I need to for my sanity.
A breakup. A breakup. I already felt that way because there were professional woes, things happening on a professional side and on a world side. I'm like, I'm being so misunderstood right now. And there's nothing I can do because there were people I wanted to protect. Or I felt that it was wiser to protect them than to protect myself.
Right.
But that wasn't the choice to make. And I can look back on it like, that was the mistake, is like just not telling the truth. You know what I mean? So there was professional stuff and then there was personal stuff. I was in a relationship for 11 years. And 11 years is a very long time.
No, for sure.
From 17 to 28, I was in that relationship. So that was, 17 is really young.
Yeah.
And those are like
To the same person?
Same person.
What?
11 years, yeah.
So y'all grew together. Y'all understood each other.
Exactly. And we're still tight. Like that was a genuine friendship, a genuine love. Like I love his wife, you know what I mean? Like we have a cool relationship, their kids, like, that's still that. We can all hang out. I can introduce him to whoever I'm seeing. Like there's no issue. That was a real.
I can hear the comments now.
What?
How? Because that's not like prototypical.
Yeah.
Because especially, I don't think a lot of us are mature enough to have the talk. I don't think a lot of us are mature or even ready to be able to look outside of this person and say like, yo, I was deeply in love with this person and a part of me is still in love with this person. But I'm able to say, I want what's best for that person.
Yeah.
Even if it's not me.
Right.
And that's what needs to be said and need to be had. Because we're living in a day and age now where everybody prompts their issues on situations. And I've learned that even with this platform of Funky Friday. Like, I can't say anything that lead me to go to the comments and then it's always that Nene meme of her like looking or doing something and then it's the side eye, right?
Yes.
But it's really me working on myself, and I think I'm not afraid to use my personal experiences just to show the world that I'm flawed and that I'm a work in progress. And sometimes it has helped me cope and it also has hurt me in my personal situations, but I think it's important for you to explain you and your situation to a degree where it's like, yeah, right, girl, you just waiting for your turn or you doing these things. Like, these are all the things that you already know is gonna be said.
Yeah.
But I think now for you to look back at a situation and want that and have that relationship with that person is still special.
Yeah, I think that really just speaks to the depth and of the connection that we had. How real that was and how respectful we both are.
Yeah.
How mature we both are. How communicative and expressive we are.
Right.
and how well we worked through issues. That was not an ugly relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like I was being abused in any way. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't, I mean, there were toxic times at the end. Like, of course, it got a little shaky. Separating was difficult.
Yeah.
We were only terrible when it was over. Because now we're like doing other things and trying to protect each other. So we're lying now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we were still talking almost every day.
Yeah.
Because you know, it just was that.
I'm
but,
only
yeah.
assuming.
Shout out to Errol, since we're talking about him.
Errol?
Errol, that's his name. Hi, Errol. And Tiffany, what's up? Yeah.
I don't know Errol.
You don't know Errol yet.
He's a regular person.
Yeah.
He's like,
He's a businessman.
he does not have a blue check next to his name on social media. Wow. You know, this whole time I thought you was talking about Serge.
No, we didn't date that long.
That's all.
We only dated a couple years.
Man, that's
Couple years.
look. This is Funky Friday where we keep
Keeping it funky.
I mean, I'm over here like, dang,
No.
17 to 28.
No.
And round of one, take the one bag, put the 5 on there. Like, what year was that?
Serge was a couple or a few years after that. I think 2000, maybe 12 or 13.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. Something like that.
Right. That's dopey.
Mm-hmm.
Now, even
I just talked to Serge the other day.
wow.
Like, I can be friendly. You know what I mean?
How? Without like it's one of those things that help the masses grow in their own right. Where like I think the best thing that a person can say is agree to disagree and say, I'm just not there yet. I can get to there, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
So help us get to that point, or help.
Okay. I don't know. I can't say. But I was just now trying to think, like, is there an ex that I don't want to talk to? Is there an ex? Like, anyone I've really seriously had a relationship with that I can't answer the phone for or answer a text? Like, you know what I mean? Or, like, I remember Serge, like, sometime last year, I asked him for this recipe he had made, and he sent it, you know, and it was like, I sent him a picture, like, okay, I did it. I think I did it right, you know, whatever. But it's not, I don't know. I think because I have such a disgust for ugliness in my life. Like, I don't do well without peace.
Okay.
Between me and everyone in my life. Like, I really try to resolve issues. I think that's what makes things difficult, is when you're like sweeping things under the rug or harboring ill feelings towards someone, or not. Like, when you're healed, when you've done your work, nothing, like, you can speak to anybody when you've healed from things.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's the bottom line. It's just like,
A lot of people aren't healed yet.
yeah, you haven't healed from it.
Let me ask you it this way. Do you feel like you've ever dated a person that got away?
No. That I should have married, or like?
No, that just got away. It's like, man.
I don't have any that I think like that. But I'm
Would you admit
still
it, though?
grateful. I would.
For real?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
I mean, as open as I've been to date, I
Yeah.
probably would have told you who too.
For sure.
Because I'm telling you a lot more than I've ever.
No, but
But
like if we keep it in a buck,
Yeah.
there's multiple people that have came into my life that I didn't do right by. And that was a part of my healing process.
Okay.
Like, people with good intentions, and I just
So maybe because I'm on the other side of that,
yeah.
that I don't feel that way. But I understand that shame or that guilt.
Yeah.
That kind of weighs heavy. You know what I mean? So I can understand that taking longer to heal from, or to be at peace, or acceptance, or like, what if you have a lot of regret.
Man, I think it was Pastor Henderson who, you know, kind of said it in a way where it's like, if you don't heal, you're gonna bleed on somebody
Who didn't cut you. Yeah.
And I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
that's what gives me, like, I'm shell shocked a little bit, you know, or I got like the guilt of what I've done. And you're talking to a person who does not believe in karma. Because I don't. I think good things happen to bad people and bad things happen to good people.
That's okay.
And you can't just say, oh man, just because I stubbed my toe, that's my karma. Because some of the purest people that I've known, my grandmother, rest in peace, my mother still to this day, all they know is church and bad things still happen to them. And what am I gonna say? Oh, see, that's your karma. It was subjective to that, but like for me, being in a relationship, these are the things that I kind of think back. It's like, man, I can't mess this up. But if I do, it's like, she didn't even put me in this situation, but I'm reacting as if she did. You see what I'm saying? And when you learn from that, you walk into a situation where, okay, I think I've healed. So therefore, like, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, let's put on our boxing gloves if we got to.
Yeah.
Man, open up your heart, be vulnerable, cry if you need to.
Yeah.
But before I assume,
Right.
I'm gonna know exactly what I did that made you feel the way you felt.
Yeah.
And I think the immature me would not have even allowed me to have that discussion because I didn't know how. Oftentimes I speak on behalf of men, not the vocal men, the men who's the provider. And oftentimes men who are providers, they don't have the words to say because they don't know what to say.
They've never had to say.
You dig what I'm
They
saying?
are the provider, and they find they define themselves and their worth and their manhood, their masculinity through providing.
Yeah.
So they've, and often they operate like that in relationships, and so they're never expected to express.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And they meet people who are fine with the provision, women that have their hand out or are in need, you know what I mean, of their provision. And so I'm just saying a lot of times, I'm not speaking to generalize, but I've seen that be the case where men that define themselves through their providing, they can be emotionally stunted a lot.
Oh my goodness, yes.
You know what I mean? So they're not as expressive. They're not going to communicate. They're not as emotionally intelligent.
Right, to that. And one of the things...
Not saying you can't have both.
For sure, because even for me, while I was kind of like halting, is because every time a male provider meets another person, that person isn't always the asker. Because a male provider may meet another female provider, or however your preferences in dating, meet another provider, and you just have never had those conversations to be like, you know what hurt me? Like, I don't like when you do that. I don't like when you shine in front of your family and use me as your jokes. Like those type of things. I didn't give it enough credit of saying it impacts me. Like. And when I do that case study or self-scout in football terms,
I like that.
Like those things is where I say to myself, it's like, bro, I wasn't reasonable for that specific relationship. And relationship is not intimate relationships, it's friendships, it's real people who worked alongside of me, it's situations that not on no kinky or crazy stuff. It's like male relationships where like, bro, my partner, my homeboy, a person is like, bro, I needed to be better from that. But I was hurt.
Right.
So even for you, going through that, or the statement is, it's like everybody wasn't expecting things from me. And as I verbalize it, I am more emotional than I give myself credit for, especially being grown up in this age of be strong, be stoic, don't show this, And
football, because football makes you guys, doesn't it kind of bring out this like...
alpha.
Yeah, because you have to turn your empathy off to do what you do, like run through a face. What do you say, Marshawn Lynch? He said, run through a face.
Yeah.
To do that, like to almost try to inflict pain upon another black man,
bro,
of all things. Like, you know what I mean? Like my brother. Like to do that, you have to turn your empathy completely off.
It's hard for people to understand that.
Okay.
Especially now being in corporate, right? Where we're like Iconic Saga, shout out to, Kristen, whose job is to expand the portfolio. Like, how can we sell to different brands and things like that? But you can't sell profanity. You can't sell what's not good for business. You can't sell, even though it may be your truth. And I've always, no matter what a person can say about me, I've always beat to my own drum. But
that is true.
In the words of people who I listen to, you can beat to your own drum, But if you're
Dress to your own drum too.
Come on now.
Listen, it shows. In everything you do, it shows.
Come on. I never wanted to be like,
Okay.
hello. But even with that, it's about understanding who you're pandering to. Because you can't beat to your own drum, and that drum sound or that drum cadence ain't conducive to corporate or to business or to, boardrooms and things like that. Because if you're trying to search for that dollar, you got to juggle the two, and that's not selling out.
Yeah.
That's not giving
it's
things.
It's diversifying yourself. It's like,
And that's where I'm at now.
You got sides. You got sides.
Yeah.
I can see the way you've been handling yourself behind the scenes here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We know each other. I'm aware of you.
Right.
We've never been close.
Yeah.
But like, respect for the way that you run your shit and the way that people react to you.
Yeah.
That shows. Those kinds of little things say this is a respectful human.
Bro,
Let
me say something real quick. I've been really working on myself.
That's good.
No, like purging
Okay.
a lot of stuff.
Good.
So much, like I started this cast
Proud
with
of you,
saying
black man.
assets. Like I'm not even trying to curse.
I like it.
And I'm
I
working.
dig it. Growth.
I told my daughter today, I said, Keri, I ain't cursing. She said.
Her name is Keri?
Keri.
Oh,
like
okay.
K-I-R-R, short for Shakira.
Okay, but Keri is her nickname.
It sounds like Keri.
Got it, okay.
And it's around April Fool's Day. So she was like, oh, April Fool's. Ah, yeah, good joke, Dad. But I'm like, no. Like, for real.
She didn't go for it.
And what's crazy about it is I've been on this movement going on a week and a half.
Okay.
I'm so calm.
Just from not cursing?
Oh, my God. It's so hard to explain.
It's because you can't wrap your aggression up like
in the word.
Because if I can't curse, I might as well not be aggressive because the curse word is gonna fly. Okay.
I've never heard it the other way. But that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, boy, I could put it together though, boy. Boy, I'm trying to tell you,
Come on,
boy.
Atlanta. Come
boy,
on.
I could put it together, boy. I'm trying to tell you, boy, kind of paw could come out me so fast, boy, and I tell you and your mama about herself, boy.
Yeah.
And without having that tactic, it's made me think about what I'm gonna say first and filter it, through my tongue in a way where it's like, bro, I don't really mean no harm. It's just I'm a passionate person.
Okay. I dig it, man. Come on, black man, and growth and healing and restraint and zen and peace, okay? And diversification.
I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
So since we on this, to go to my second part.
All right.
Right? And we're gonna double back with this. Where did you find your voice?
Speaking?
No,
singing.
Like singing.
Man.
Your singing voice. Like, where did that stand? Did your mama sing?
Not really, she can.
Yeah.
But my dad and his side were really the singers.
And did you play any musical instruments?
I did. My mom made us play the violin and the piano.
Wow.
Yeah. So we were definitely exposed. And, my mother had a daycare center, has a daycare center. Mm-hmm. So music programs, dance, all this stuff. We had a karate, tennis. Yeah. We had a very enriched life. Right. So there was nothing we weren't exposed to. So I found my voice through her exposing me to so many things and me being able to say, well, I like this. By a certain age, you're like, well, what are we gonna drop and what are we gonna keep? And it was music for me. So piano, and I stuck with piano the longest. And I really would, if I'm being really honest, I think my voice found me. If I'm being very, very honest, because it was, Mom had me on, she had this remember the old school tape recorder?
Yeah. The where you had to mash the button and then record.
Yes, you had to push play and
at the same
something else
time,
at the same time.
Yeah.
So she had one of those, and I don't even know why she was using it. I think for our education. She's very, very much, master's degree in early childhood development.
Wow.
That's the kind of woman, you know what I mean? And very much about teaching. My dad built the daycare center for her because she loved children and loved to teach that much. Yeah. And so she's had it now 40 years. Wow. I think this year makes 40, I believe.
Well, congrats to Mama.
Yeah, congrats, Mama. But the point was, she played back old tapes that she had recorded when I'm supposed to be reading. And I would be singing as early as 1 and 2 years old. Because she had us reading by 2. You know what I mean? Like pretty much all of us. So I was supposed to be
many
reading, but I
siblings?
was singing. Oh, I'm one of 5. I'm the second oldest of 5.
That's beautiful.
4 girls and 1 boy. Daddy, he finally got his boy.
Finally.
He was not about to stop trying. Clearly.
Yes.
So yeah, those are my earliest. I don't even have memories of it, honestly. Like her playing that back was my realization that it's always been in me.
Yeah.
Singing, it was innate. It was nature.
Just something natural that just boom.
I didn't choose it, but I do remember my earliest memories of like understanding that it brings me attention. 3 years old.
What?
Family reunion. I remember standing. Somehow I got in the middle of family, and they're all, you're 3 years old, so everybody's tall. And I just remember singing, and they're like, "Do you know this song?" And I would just sing whatever I knew, but they would like treat me like, and I named my publishing company Karaoke Music because I felt like I was doing karaoke.
Wow.
Looking back on the memory, it was like, they were like, "Oh, sing," and they would like teach it to me, kind of like coax me into like, this is how it goes. And I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I know that," and I would start singing. So yeah, 3 years old, that's my earliest
You're
memory.
the only singer in your siblings.
Let's see. No. There are 2 that can really sing. There's one who can like hold a note.
I'm about to say,
But her ear is just not trained.
Yeah,
Well, 2 of them that can hold a note, and their ears are just not trained.
How do you tell that person? I was like, tell them to bring it down to it. Hey, you too high.
We just let them go. We let them do them,
See,
because one of them will sing loud and boisterous, and we're just like, yeah, we let her go.
See, I'm the family member. Like, hey, bro, sir. Hold on. Matter of fact, don't worry about it. Keri started from what she picked up, and we go like that. Matter of fact, let's sing together. Let Keri lead, and then you just pick up. We need Tito. Everybody can't be Mike.
Yeah, but I could never be the one to tell her that. You know what I mean?
I
could never be the one. So if anybody else says it,
you
great.
need people like me. I'll be happy to tell her. I love you to death, baby, but it's
You're stupid.
So early.
Early, yeah.
Now the business side of the music, right? Because I think I owe a service, and I always say this. I owe a service not only just for my curiosity, but the curiosity of this platform of people, where it's doublefold where I speak of and speak for. It's like being from Atlanta. I even have the respect because I know when I was growing up, we didn't have visuals that we could see. When we saw it on TV, you know what I'm saying? But to be able to say like, yo, man, that's Keri Hilson. She came out with blah, 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 or a Cam Newton. Like, that's why it's important for me to kind of give back my time more than anything, just to show it's not stunting. It's like, bro, you can have the Lamborghini, the Ferrari, the Rolls Royce. If you just commit to it. You know what I'm saying?
That's
you don't
real.
gotta rob. You don't gotta just commit to your craft.
Facts.
And
I tell people not to cut you
Go,
off.
go.
But I tell people all the time, it ain't, you know what I mean? I know people that are I was in groups with people that are uber talented that just gave up. Like, I'm not better than a lot of people, but I was fortuitous. Like, I persevered. Like, I'm an athlete.
Right.
So I'm going to, like, that's how I think and behave in the world, is very sports-like. You know what I mean?
What you play?
I was a national swimmer.
What?
Yeah. I competed in the junior nationals.
What was your Olympics?
Huh?
What was your event?
Oh, what was my event? It was a fly and free. Butterfly and freestyle, yeah. Yeah. I used to have really big shoulders. And maybe they're still broad, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, and then basketball, I was 2 years best offensive and MVP my senior year of high school.
What high school you went to?
Tucker. You went to?
Westlake.
Okay, yeah, I knew that.
Did you go to school with, what's the running back that went to Thomas Brown? That's his name. He went to Georgia.
Does not ring I remember Patrick Pass.
Okay, well, I'm too comfortable right now. It's like, yo, I done went back. Hey, bro, you know this?
Thomas Brown. He might have been after me, after I graduated.
Probably. But yeah, I think it's so, I feel so empowered when I see people make it from the city I grew up on.
Facts.
But when you put a microscope to it,
Yeah.
Decatur is completely different than College Park. College Park is
You think so?
Yeah, it's certain
Okay.
size and pockets, and you know when everybody be like, "Bro, you from Atlanta? Y'all go to Cascade?" And you're like, "Yeah, but you know when you say where the Amigos from and Two
Yeah.
Chainz from,
Yeah.
and you know Tip from, and this person from, it's
You're right.
two
There are
different-
some differences.
It's different
for
pockets.
sure.
Lil Baby,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
So, and I will, to your credit, they're so different that we never needed to go to any other side of town. Like, I didn't know nothing about most of the malls that, you know what I mean? I knew South DeKalb, and that's the only, we have a Riches. We have a JCPenney and a Sears. Yeah, we talking 80s.
I'm trying to tell you, South
And
DeKalb
90s,
was booming.
yeah.
So you didn't know about South Lake Mall and Shannon Mall?
Because we have every side of Atlanta had its own things.
Yeah.
Had all the same things.
Did y'all have a discount mall?
Yes, I forgot what it was called, but it was off. We had, I guess you would call it a flea market.
Flea market, yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
we had a few, but I would say the biggest one, which may still be the case, but I guess it's on Candler Road. Yeah.
Tell me the last time before Keri Hilson, the name, that like you really school shopped with a budget.
School shopped with a budget.
Because you've been popping for a long time.
Okay.
Because we had this segment on my sports show, me and my dog Peggy. He from Charlotte, right?
Okay.
And it's crazy how we was just comparables. It's like, yo, and we got burnt CDs. It's like, yo, you remember that? You remember the slop socks? Yo.
Absolutely.
Bro, I had
Napster, LimeWire.
What?
I was making everybody.
Come on now. Come on. Now, what was the title that you was put? Club Mix, Bangers.
Yeah, probably just different vibes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was probably just
with
different
Now,
vibes.
this is the one.
Okay.
The color marker that you would have
Oh,
to.
that was important.
I mean, I started hitting it with 2 markers at the same time.
Oh, I believe that. According to your font on IG,
Yeah.
I believe you made some shit very hard to read.
Yeah, listen, man.
On-
Even with
on
the
your
font,
CDs.
folks be like, bro, you over here typing like you got a MySpace account. It's like, dog, if I were to give everybody, it's just a teaching tool. If I were to give everybody in this room a sheet of paper and a pen, and I were to say, write this. We love you, Keri Hilson. It would be different fonts.
That's true, but yours is outrageous.
No, it's not.
I told you, I can't read this shit.
Yeah, you can.
You were like, yes, that's exactly what you said. Yes, you can.
You just don't want to.
And
It's
you're
just-
right, I can.
People
But-
don't want to buy into something that's not normal. And it's normal for us to think different. It's normal
Yeah.
for us to act different. It's normal for us to be different. But when you get an individual who pushes the status quo,
Yeah.
it's like, nah, this dude weird, bro. You
Yeah.
trying too hard. But it's like
Yeah.
when you ask yourself,
When you're
like,
uncomfortable, you feel a little friction.
you know,
You're
it's like, bro, I'm
why I
not trying
gotta
to
change.
Yeah, but it's like, yo, if we were to write, which is a lost art, because even for my children,
Right.
they don't even teach cursive no more.
Right.
And that's all I write in cursive. And my son, saw me writing in cursive, and he's like, Daddy, what's that? You know how to speak another language? I do, but it's like, nah, son, that's cursive. And here he goes trying to write in cursive. It's one of those type of things. But yeah, man, I always tip my hat off to the individual who made it from Atlanta.
Yeah.
And knowing from even as early as 3 years old, that process for it, like, if a mom does have a skillful child, how would that even be something that person can say, if you got somebody who can sing, what's the processes to getting them seen? Like, how did you get your first record deal, or how did you get is this a talent agency that you go through?
I mean, you want me to answer that for real?
No, for real.
From my experience?
No, for sure.
Oh, okay. My mom was a very encouraging mother.
Right.
Like, so if she saw that any of us had our own interests, she made it happen. And she is a very busy woman, running a business, taking care, like literally caring for however many, 100 kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And 5 of her own, which is a handful. That's a lot, you know what I mean? But she really like, I had so my first time, besides like taking me to piano and like allowing us to explore our interests and making it happen. I mean, we were sitting late outside many a nights because she had so much to do, you know what I mean?
With no cell phone
Oh yeah,
capabilities.
no
It was
cell
just
phone.
like, man, where y'all mama at? Or where your
Okay,
dad-
I
was
remember
that
when she
kid.
got a car phone though. That saved us.
What?
She got a car phone. We
My
were
mama
like,
had a
okay, we
beeper
can at least.
best. And it still was on her to call us or call the school.
I remember the beepers too. Yeah. Then she got one. She got a beeper after the car phone. But she made it happen.
talent,
Yeah, she made it happen. She she allowed us to do that. But we had a babysitter named Tanya. And we had a few babysitters, but this particular babysitter knew someone that had a studio. I think it was Tanya. I'm pretty sure that was Tanya. And my mom, she was like, can I take Keri? Because Tanya obviously knows Keri's writing song. I've had a notebook, like I'm writing full songs at like from 9 on, you know what I mean? Probably earlier. But at around 12 years old, she took me to this studio and I got to like arrange my own song. I had already had it fully written. I knew what song I was going to take to the studio.
A brand new song. This is not a cover.
No. Mm-mm. Like because I played piano, I wrote the music to it. Wow. I improperly created my own staff system, but I could read it even if no one else could. Like a real piano player would be like, how did you even follow this? But it worked for me. Yeah. So I did that. I wrote the music. I wrote the entire song, arranged the entire song, all the backgrounds, everything. So I did all of that in the studio. Learned how to harmonize and create harmonies and learn what sounds good with other, learned about texture of my voice, learned about like mic control. I was 12 years old. So my mom allowing me to do that and allowing me to enter every talent. My first talent show, I was in first grade when I first was like, yeah, now I want to compete. First grade. I was the youngest in my grade, so I think I was 4 or 5. Whatever, I don't know the ages of first grade, but I was around there. Whatever.
It's about 6.
It's about 6, so then I was 5. Because I was always I was one of the youngest to graduate in every,
right. Reading that too, I can see why.
Yeah, she put me in early. So, yeah, it was just all of, she literally was like, whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do. And she didn't have, by the time it was time for me to get my own deal, I got my own lawyer. He hadn't even met my parents. I got my own lawyer because I had read the books, Donald Passman, All You Need to Know About the Music Business. So if anybody out there is interested, that's a great book. There may be updated versions because the industry has changed so much with streaming. But yeah, I didn't even introduce, I think maybe at some point I did introduce them to who I was signing to and who these contracts are about, I would introduce my parents at times along the way. But I was just off to the races. With all the experience, with all the exposure, I'm like, I want to pursue this and let me at it. Let me go.
That's definitely
while playing sports.
Yeah. I think one of the main things that's obvious that you hear about just the music industry as a whole is how did you get here? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because like I said, when you hear people singing, oh, your talent got you here. Like you belong here. Right. But how do you manage being pretty and talented that don't coexist all the time? You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I remember having this conversation with my girlfriend and she was like, yo, pretty girls suffer. There's a such thing as pretty girl privilege. Don't get us wrong. Mm-hmm. Just like it's rich man privilege or status privilege. Mm-hmm. But more times than not, when a pretty girl goes into a situation, she really has to be really good at what she does. And that has to supersede the look. So how was you able to really, has anybody ever tried you? Like in that realm of like your pitfalls of coming in through the industry?
Not really.
You know what I'm saying?
Not my story. No. It wasn't, I think it had a lot more to do with how I carried myself. It wasn't about how I looked. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was like, oh, she's about her business. She is not here to play. She ain't here to F her way to the top.
Yeah.
She's not here for that. So I'm not even about to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I would see studio guests and things like that who, you know, you come to learn that they want to be in the industry in whatever they rap or they sing or they write or whatever. And it's like they're giving off a different energy.
Yeah.
And so they would get tried. But it's not something I exuded.
Right.
Like I was never desperate. I never felt desperate enough to do two things. One, engage with people, men who I never felt like people controlled my journey.
Yeah.
But me and God. So that wasn't a route that I felt was even available. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I didn't think like that. And two, I forgot. I kind of lost track of the other side of what I was saying. But yeah.
But it's worth mentioning because you got to think about too. In this realm of music, especially as a minority woman, it's either this or that, right? And I'm talking about talent-wise. You see now the Cardi B, super talented. You see the Sexy Red, super talented. You see, you know, these individuals. And on the other hand, there's a Janae Aiko, you know, there's, you know, certain artists, the Sierras of the world that it's, the talent is not in question, but what it is how, like I asked the question again, how did you get there? And what's the message? You know, if you're singing and rapping, that looks completely different than rapping and rapping. You feel me? And there's always the thought, it's like, yo, where'd she come from? Okay, cool, like, yeah, that song's a banger, but you would hear stories of individuals of the business side of it, even understanding that this is not a male-female thing. It's like, yo, bro, people do business different with different people.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Very true.
It's like certain people who aren't as talented, they're charting. How? You know, there are certain things and certain reasons that happens, and it's like, I always was curious, you know, from artist standpoint, it's like, what was that story like for you? Like, what was that song? And I'm shifting gears, but what was that song that made it make sense for your career, right?
A song that released or a song that made things go behind the scenes?
No, what made it feel, what time did you feel validated for what you were doing? You know what I mean? Like,
I would say many times throughout.
Talk to me.
There was one particular compliment that meant more to me than the others.
Okay.
And that was Timbaland. That was like, because to me, I grew up loving Aaliyah, learning her routines on the music videos and whatnot, and huge Aaliyah fan.
Right.
And Polo had set up that meeting randomly, and I had music ready, put music on a CD, burnt a CD that same morning, created a label for it, you know, did the whole thing. And it was songs that I had written for other people, but songs that I would have done, songs that I felt were cohesive enough to present as an artist.
Yeah.
Even though, I mean, they weren't sold, they were available, but they weren't songs I wrote for myself because I was not in that mode.
Yeah.
At that time. I was just songwriter. So we had our meeting at the Ritz-Carlton one random morning. I don't even think I had slept yet because I was working with Polo that night before, and he just happened to call me before I could go to sleep. So this is morning, like probably 6
That's nuts.
a.m., yeah. And so we had to meet. He was like, can you meet at 9? So that's when I went upstairs. I had a studio upstairs in my, like a loft area in the house that I was renting. And I was also in college, I think. Yes. It could have been on a college break because I took 2 semesters off at 2 different points. So this might have been during the break. I don't remember because for whatever reason, I'm like, I didn't have class. But I played him the music, and he was so impressed. And I also was a Justin Timberlake fan. You know what I mean? I love their work together. I love Missy. I love everything Tim did. I was a super fan of Timbaland's. And someone had asked me, who do you think, who would you, if you were thinking like an artist, if you thought of yourself like an artist again, who would get you? What producer would you want to work with? And I said Timbaland, hands down. And then lo and behold, this meeting happens.
Wow.
So I feel like I manifested that meeting. I really do. And yeah, he said things like, you remind me of Aaliyah, you know, and it was just bad. That compliment to me just,
Validated.
Yeah. It was like maybe signing with the NFL or getting the first call that someone's interested in scouting you while you were in college, or
I get you.
something like that feeling where it's cloud nine.
Yeah.
And it was like that for a few years, where I was just like, I'd be in the studio. I flew back to Miami with Tim that same night.
Wow.
And we worked.
Things happen fast.
They do. So when people say you got to be ready, that is so real. That is so real.
How do you balance your career and personal life? In all facets, not just like personal growth. I don't know if you're dating right now, but while you were dating, like, but also having hobbies,
Right.
family, those things, like, help me and others, you know, speak to that.
I don't know that I can say how, but I can say that I do balance them. There are probably some things that fall by the wayside that I could balance better, but you got to fight for that balance.
Wow.
The things that you truly need are like kind of tugging at you for a reason. I try not to let that go too far, too long. You know what I mean? If I need a beach, I need a beach. If I need to, you know what I mean, to see my nephews, I'm making a call. You know, I'm heading, hey, Ma, what are y'all doing? I'm coming by. You know, or she'll call me like, hey, I got my nephews. Can I bring them by? Yep. I mean, she would say, I got the grands. I got the boys, you know. And whatever it is you need, like, I think you can't fight that. Like, it's there for a reason, and it's kind of maybe divine. Like, I kind of tend to funnel a lot of things in my life now in a spiritual way. And I just follow my wishes, my desires, my gut, my intuition.
Yeah. A lot of your music is about love. A lot of your music is about feeling. Like, do you act on that as it's happening, or is it the thought of it?
What do you mean, love?
Yeah. You know, I'd like, every person that's in a relationship they don't get clearance to just talk about love. Like, you can be single and still talk about love. It's the feeling about it. Like,
you're
but I'm
saying, okay.
You know,
You're
sometimes
saying what drives me.
love comes. Like, were you in a relationship, or were you just or manifesting those things? When I hear Bae, it's like, yo, hey, Bae, like, it's certain things that's a love song. Are you in a relationship too?
I was when we co-wrote Knock You Down, I was definitely in a relationship. I think the 11-year one. But yeah, not all the time. Like, I love love. I mean, it's what music is about, really.
Yeah.
I think, I won't say should, because I was about to say that and I was like, let me not. There's a lot of subjects now, okay? We got trap, we got, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things to talk about. But the things that move me are about relationship, are about love, and not always good love. Like, I'm moved by heartbreak too. It's just colors. Like, some days an artist is gonna pick up the blues and grays and the blacks because that's how they're feeling. And then some days you're feeling yellow and orange and bright red and pink, and you know. So it's all just colors, but love moves me. That's what drives me. Like, I've always I love people watching. Like, I love this part of why Instagram is so dangerous, because it's like endless people watching. Like,
Bruh.
Yeah, I like psychological. You know, I like to be stimulated psychologically. Okay. And I like studying emotions and things like that. Like, that, I think, is my real skill. That's why I'm such a good writer, is because I study emotion.
But what did you study in college?
Music at first. And I didn't graduate, by the way. But I can't even remember what my second major is because I'm gonna be honest, I was present but not present. Like,
Wow.
I thought it would be psychology for a second. I can't even remember. Oh, theater. I ended up majoring in theater. I mean, yes, my major in theater, not graduating. So I didn't get my degree. But yes, it went from music to thinking about psychology or theater, and theater won. Because I was doing music so much, I was like, learning the technical stuff, like, you know, it became too technical. I was like, oh, y'all trying to take out my soul.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't
The
want
fun
to know
is-
it. Yeah, I don't want to know it like that. I know the fundamentals already through the
Experiences.
keys and piano, yes. So, yeah, it was theater. It was theater.
But you were there in this pocket of like psychological or just mind, right? People watching, just observing, making your own. Like
Movies, friendships, my own family. You know, watching my parents.
I always ask this question before, but I'm gonna ask you in this way. If you had a show, or if you had a movie and a character that feeds to who you are,
Okay.
like I'm an avid TV show watcher. Like I do that in ways, and I found myself watching this show yesterday, not because of the storyline, but more so of the attire. Like the costume designer,
Oh,
like
okay.
the beautiful pictures of like, yo, where are they? Like they in London? Like
Yeah.
that's dope. I want to incorporate. Like what kind of car? Like for just inspiration.
Okay.
So for you, what shows or movies, characters that you relate to? You have any?
I feel like I would need time to answer that because
You watch Game of Thrones?
I watched a few episodes. Yeah, I don't think I even got through the first full season of Game of Thrones, but I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was like a capsule collection within a relationship. And when we broke up, I broke up with Game of Thrones.
Oh, you was just there because of the.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I just was
What's
like,
your go-to? Like, have y'all watched this?
I don't watch. So that's the thing. I will like. Sometime last year, I had realized that I hadn't watched anything in a whole year. Like I hadn't turned my TV on in a year. I'm not a watcher. Like I'll listen to things, but I don't watch movies and shows. I mean, I'm trying to get better. So
But what do you do?
I create other
hearing-
things. Like I'll paint. I'll create. I create. I'm not an observer like that. Now, on Instagram, I think is where I guess you're referring to like the psychological aspect of
Yeah.
things, you know. And I'll peek into things. Like if somebody is into something, my girls on a group chat will be like, oh, you guys should check this out. So I'll check things out now. I'm making a concerted effort to be more of a watcher and like kind of turn my brain off and just, you know, be a voyeur. But yeah, I'm not a TV, like, but I will. Like in relationship, I do. Like I enjoy movies. It's not like I hate them. It's not like, you know, series. I liked You.
Okay,
I liked You.
there you go.
I did like that.
There's a part of me
I'm late on a lot of things.
as I'm observing, just having this conversation, I'm enjoying, but I'm trying to understand you. Like I'm trying to, no pun intended, to you, but I'm trying to understand, like, yo, like, what makes you tick? Like, what are your interests? Like, we know Keri Hilson, the
Right.
artist,
Yeah.
the singer, right? And even dabbling into, you know, acting.
Yeah.
Like, how did
I like that. I like acting. I like the theater. I like, you know, performing. I like writing. I like writing of all kinds.
Yeah.
I like to paint. Let's see.
How did you get your roles in acting?
I auditioned. Like one of the first roles that I got. Okay, the very first role that I got was very, very quick. It was in Think Like a Man, and I played Terrence J's girlfriend at the beginning of Think Like a Man, the first one. And I came off tour. Like he had just called me because I knew him from 106, and he had called me and he's like, "Are you available?" You know. And so we flew into. I was on tour, I think, with Wayne at the time. Flew in to do that. Second one was Vin Diesel, I had auditioned.
Riddick?
Yeah. I had auditioned for, yes, Riddick. And I had gotten called back once or twice already. And I think that was they were trying to make it work with one role. I think I switched gears to play the other character, and they were like, no, that's not true. It was the same character each. So I went back 3 or 4 times.
Right.
My agent at the time said, you want the good or the bad news? And I said, I'll take the bad first. She said, bad news is you didn't get it. And she goes, do you want to hear the good news? I said, yes. She says, they want to write you into the movie. They're creating a character they loved your acting. They ended up going with like a white girl to play the audition the role that I was auditioning for. And I don't, I don't, you never know what they're really looking for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I could have been too tall.
Right. And that process
To
takes how
anything.
long, though, typically? Just to come back and re-audition?
It can be long. You could be waiting months for your yes or your no. You're just on pins and needles, but usually it's weeks. Usually it's at least like several weeks. So it's painstaking for sure. Like you got to find a comfort in the wait.
Does those processes affect if you still pursue?
They could if you're a weaker individual.
No.
Because hearing no is difficult. And if you don't grow comfortable in the process of leaving it there and not carrying the doubt, the anxiety, you know what I mean? And there are times, because there are big ones that I've done that I'm like, I really want this. Like I try to suppress and I tried to leave it there, but it creeps up in my thoughts and I'm like, I really want that. I want that. And it felt like mine.
To see it played out with somebody else. And
it hurts. Yeah, but that's too much like running from pain. You know what I mean? And I think there's a fine line between wanting to manifest something and wanting to manifest something, but also not like investing all of your energy in that one place.
Right.
Because that sets you up for a more major disappointment if it goes that way. But you want to think positive things at the same time. So there's a balance.
Yeah.
But you got to be strong. You have to be comfortable not getting chosen, not getting drafted, not getting selected. You got to find that comfort. That's a growth process. You had to become, right? No, you always got dressed. You always probably got
I got picked.
Yeah, you got picked.
But it came with a part. The latter part of my career was just like, people are getting signed, still getting signed. And I'm like, wait, what's going on?
What does that mean? Because I'm not.
Okay.
People are still getting signed.
Signed, like there's talent that are your age that still has opportunities to play.
Okay.
And then you're like.
And there's a period where you're hoping to still play.
Yeah, it was.
And being disappointed.
Now I'm at peace.
Great. How long did that take?
No.
If I can interview you for a moment, how long did that process?
Please. Yeah, it was heavy. I thought it was at peace, but I really wasn't. And it was just too personal to me. And that was the competitor.
It's all you knew.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and God almighty.
And it was your identity since
so
you were
long.
probably 4 years old.
No, for
right?
so long. It was always either I win or I lose. It's either I'm first place or I'm the first loser. It's either you or me. It's either somebody gonna get this scholarship, both of us ain't gonna get it. One of us gonna walk up outside this door, 2 of us enter. Like it's that lion rage that sport teaches you.
Yeah.
And it teaches you discipline. But as you pedestrian yourself, right? Because that's not a normal way of thinking.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Like as you get back to saying like, yo, hold on, how do you build team? How do you relinquish control and not being the person that wants to just always take over?
Okay.
And that's what I had to learn.
How do you pedestrian yourself? Like, how do I gain normalcy?
Yeah.
How do I think normally now and behave in a world that is unfamiliar to you?
Yeah.
Right?
Like,
So
I've been working out a lot here recently.
Okay.
And I kind of talked to my homeboy about this, and even my girl, I'm like, babe, when I go work out, I be trying to find people to look at. And that's not normal.
You've always had...
Like, you're not working hard.
Okay.
It's like the bully in me.
Okay.
It's almost like, bro, you're not sweating more than me, bro. Like, you can, and I'm looking and I'm like, bro, you're not doing nothing. And I'm a competitor, bro. It's so crazy. Like, I could be in the mall and certain things, there's certain eye contact that you just look at another person. And it's funny because everybody who's an alpha knows, it's like, bro, you look at somebody be like, you straight? And you straight can go two different ways. You feel me? It's such a, that. Okay. So pedestrian myself is one of those things.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm not healthy to really come back down, to really understand, to really identify like that's not right. You know, nor it's not healthy.
Right.
And that's the thing.
Okay, that's deep.
The process of acting.
So you're still in process?
No, I think I'm good.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm straight. I hope I am.
How long has it been since you played?
4 years.
Okay.
4 years.
Yeah, that's
And
early.
I'm still getting those. It's competitive cravings.
Okay. So now where do you place that energy? Do you gamble? Like where do you put in the gym?
See?
In the gym, I guess.
That's
you gotta place
I'm trying to tell you, I like where we at. Because I didn't know. I didn't know how to channel that energy.
Okay.
But it's there. And it's not that we change. We never change. We only replace.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm like, if that energy's there, instead of it coming out somewhere unhealthy, like blowing all your money at casinos.
Oh yeah, I don't.
Then it's got healthy ways to compete. The gym is a great one.
The gym is great.
Okay.
Like up at 5, workout, boom. Any idle time, I'm still running, steam.
Can I give you something?
Please.
Okay, this is what I realized because basketball was a team sport and swimming was a self sport. Like it was literally, you can't even hardly hear, you're underwater. So it's you, your emotions, your thoughts. I think now maybe the transition has to be not you competing with those at the gym or things externally, because that was not competing, but like finding that motivation through them or the inspiration or the growl from things that you're seeing outside of yourself. But now you got to learn to put that kind of inside. You know what I mean? Put the blinders and the goggles on and literally just, it becomes a self-sport now, like finding that within.
It's tough. It's easier said than done.
No, I'm sure. And I even sometimes have a basketball mindset, like let me anticipate the offense's next move so I can, I understand.
What I've learned along this process is you have to assign people to roles. And you have to really unleash them to doing what you expect them to do. And some of those expectations may be to tell me when I'm off track. No matter how it comes off. It's not the words that I care about, it's the intent of the words. And I've said it before, but I didn't really mean it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh man, this is my assistant, my executive assistant right here. Yeah, boom. But you're telling that person what to do. Right. Hey, this is my manager, but you're like, bro, I'm trying to work for us. Like, come on, you got to take the collar off, Yeah, like and for that, for me, it's just been that process because playing football, being a quarterback, those things you're the leader and you're the playmaker. And when things aren't going wrong or when things aren't going right,
you're the blame.
When things are going right, you're the reason. You know what I'm saying? So as you get back into normalcy of everyday life, it's that, But to keep everything sport, I need receivers. I need a line. I need a running back. I need, a great punter, kicker, head coach. You know what I'm saying? All these different things. And I'm learning, man. So this journey that I got going for myself, bro, I love it for myself. But it's not gonna happen overnight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because everybody who has always known me has always been like, boy, you about to stop doing what? Yeah, all right, cool, but it's that.
Yeah.
So answer the question, are you dating?
No, I'm not. I'm not a person that just dates to date. Like, I'm not looking for anything. Like,
What are you looking for?
nothing. Me. Success, music, passion.
You know what's funny?
What?
As we was getting prepared for this show, I seen something as far as your dating history.
Oh God. A lot of that is wrong, by the way.
Oh, it definitely is. Because one individual on this list, I was like, you dated Cam Newton?
You're on my dating list?
Bruh.
Are you serious?
So much so that somebody asked me, like, yo, you and Keri dated? I was like, wait, no, we didn't.
I've never
But I
even
needed
heard
to
that
see
one.
for myself. And of course, Google.
I'd never heard that one either.
I've never known that to be the case until boom. But for the record, we've never dated.
We've never dated.
I never. This is really the first time I've ever had a conversation with you.
Yeah.
I've seen you out before.
Yeah.
And it's always been a respect. But when I seen the dating history, I was like, well, that's cap. That's
It's a lot of cap.
Yeah.
Very
big.
cap.
Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne, no. We work together.
Serge Ibaka.
Yes.
He was a good guy.
Says who?
Okay.
I'm just kidding, Serge.
But it was like, y'all was a
But
thing.
he wasn't good to me. He probably feels like you feel. Like, I could have been way better to her. Should have been. He probably,
Can we keep it funky?
We'll see.
Say less.
Let's see. Go ahead. What you want to say?
First off, during that period of time, they were up as a team. That was a fun team to watch.
Yeah.
And so much so that if you look at that team roster now, you'd be like, he was on that team, man. He was like,
Facts.
But then, like, y'all were like black love, and he was the strong,
We looked good.
look immaculate.
I would agree there.
What did that relationship teach you?
Ooh, leave quicker.
Yeah, you can't do that on my play.
That's not.
Why is always the dude?
You said what it taught me. I'm just giving you my.
Okay. Let's.
Because 10 months in, I should have.
You seen signs.
Yes.
Okay.
But I was believing, and I was, I was wanting to not believe.
Let me ask this way.
Yeah.
If you could tell him how to love you the proper way, what would you have told him? What was about the process that, because I think that's important too, especially with individuals, right? And going back to the provider mentality. It's like, yo, we don't know what to ask. We just floating and going. But that don't mean that we don't need help. You see what I'm saying?
We tried. We did counseling. We were sitting with his pastor, and we did another counselor as well. Like, we did couples, he did individual. I was doing individual. Like, we tried it all.
How old
so
was
it
he?
just was not going to change. He was much younger than me, 7 years younger than me. So I think I really would probably attribute everything to his age. Like, if I'm really being honest, like, he was mid-20s.
Oh, city boy, for sure.
Yeah, and his team was up.
For sure.
Okay. It was, there were happenings, and he deserved to live that. Like, that goes back to, like, I want what you want.
But
I don't want anything different than what you want. So if I would have told him how to love me better, it would have denied him the experience of being the man in the world and being on the winning team at the time and having the experiences that he clearly wanted to have. You know what I mean? I'm not going to deny you what you want. Have what you want. Just you may not have me and that, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you say, I want what you want. But what if the individual says, I want you
and that,
and just a dabble of that?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
That's not, that doesn't work.
But at that age, it's like, yo.
I know that. And so I can remove myself and have it. Like, enjoy it. It may have been the only time he could have. I don't know his life. I don't know where his life would have.
I speak for a lot of people when, like, my dad would always tell me, he would end it abruptly, but just saying this, just keep on living, son. Just keep on living.
That part.
And you're like, but what does that mean? And then you realize it's like, yo, just keep on living.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
moving right along.
Yeah.
Ricardo Lockett,
Okay. Football.
dating history. Is that?
Oh, yes.
is
Yes.
that accurate?
Sorry, I thought you were about to go into more. I'm
No,
like,
no,
oh,
no,
God.
no.
Yeah, we dated. That was real.
What did that teach you?
No more athletes. That's what it taught me.
What about the athletes? Like, why?
Woo.
Put,
No, and
put
he was
sisters on. Put sisters on of knowing like everybody want the baller.
Okay, yeah. It comes with, and he was removed 2 years, I think. 2 years retired.
Yeah, he had an injury.
Yeah. But his career did end abruptly. And I think there was a lot of emotional, psychological things happening as a result of it being ripped. It wasn't a choice to leave. It was literally ripped from him, which could have been his life. He snapped his neck, you know what I mean? So it was a lot of things that he had to grapple with. And that process is already the case for any athlete.
It's heavy.
Right?
It's heavy.
Like even when it's choice, even when there's some adjustment, because that's literally.
Oh, you know.
Yes. And then you're wondering, am I still the man? And so I caught the brunt of, I think, that, like his ego being bruised and him maybe wanting to seek that validation from women that he knew and women that he wanted to know. You know what I mean? Like I caught the brunt of that side of his retirement. Because again, it was only 2 years removed. But I understood that in time. I understood that. And yeah, but athletes, it's because that no empathy thing is real for football, especially. Like I saw that. Yeah, athletes, I think, if I can be real, this is what I say to my girlfriends about my experiences with the two. I've only dated 2 athletes, so I'm not going to speak generally, but I do also, I'm friends with wives still. And I had learned a lot, because again, I'm an observer in the world. So I had learned a lot about what the women in the athletes' lives have, you know, what they felt and what the experience was, whether they would say it or not. But a lot of them would be vocal. But athletes, you guys have never, I won't say never, but very seldom were you challenged on being a good partner or a good brother or a good son or a good student.
How about this?
Or a good.
You say everything that you want to say, and I will correct.
Okay.
If needed.
Okay.
So you have full.
Yes, I'm being careful because I'm talking to an athlete, and I don't want to offend you.
You're not. Trust me. You can't offend
or
me.
anyone else, but yeah, I think that you guys have relationally you're stunted because a lot of people have appeased and placated you, and so you've gotten your way with women, with teachers, with sometimes pastors. You know what I mean? Because everyone's a fan or nobody wants to be in the way of you making it, you know? And so women don't challenge a certain side of you relationally. And so in my experience, and again, that's mine and the experience of those who who I would speak with. In my experience, that was apparent, that just stunted emotionally, stunted. Like learning things, we're talking in 30s that maybe someone by 21 would have known. You know what I mean?
Like?
Relational things like how to be honest, or I mean, so many things. Yeah. But how to express.
No,
you know what I mean? How to be mature about
I would agree
things,
with you.
Just certain things that.
I will agree with you, but I think
and it wasn't your focus. Not to cut you out, but it wasn't y'all's focus. Relationships couldn't have been your focus. You were paid to run the ball down the field or pass the, you know what I mean? And you were paid to do very specific things that anything else that required other things from you, really, your job had to take precedence over a lot of things. So it's not always your fault. It's not your fault at all, really.
No. I think as you're talking, there's certain things that's coming up. It's like, yo, you don't learn how to love because anybody will love you.
Yes. Bottom line.
You feel me?
Yes.
And it's like stepping away from the game and experiencing. We know how we are. I know and I don't even feel like I'm selling out. It's just the truth. It's like, bro, everybody. Like I tell my kids all the time. I mean, my all-star kids. C1N.
Okay.
Has been a philanthropic give back for me in certain cases that, we provide football camps and things. And when I talk to kids and it's like, man, I got a girlfriend. I'm like, how old are you? 16. I said, what school you going to? Georgia. The University of Georgia? Yeah. Is she going there with you? No, she can't get in. I say, all right. You want the good news or you want the bad news? Like I've been living for a long time and I ain't never known nobody to be married to their high school sweetheart. That's not to say
keep on living.
Keep on living. Because it's not to say that you can't get married to your high school sweetheart.
Yeah, because some people do.
They do.
Yeah.
And that's real love. But more times than not.
Yeah, especially in athletics.
Yeah. About that.
It's hard to make
Have y'all ever seen Get Out?
Yeah. Yeah, there were some real things about that too. But yeah, I think you said it in a nutshell. Like you haven't learned how to love. That's a talent, a tool that you haven't needed or that you couldn't cultivate. So everything, that's what I couldn't pinpoint one thing for you when you asked me what things. Because I'm like, it's really all of it as it pertains to love.
It blitzed you and it was like, hold on, what can I share? And what can I just
well, no, it was a lot of things. It was so many.
Yeah,
I just was like, I want to prioritize them and give you the best ones, but I'm like, really, it's a lot.
Soulja Boy.
No, I wore his chain. He put his chain on me for a picture. I think we weren't even working together, but he was coming to say hello. I was either backstage or at a studio, and it was like a visit, and he put his chain on me. Or maybe I was curious about the chain and a picture got taken, whatever. But no. I never went that young.
Well, I'm gonna get into this game real quick, right?
Okay.
And it's not a game, it's really a question of the day.
Okay.
Right? And the question for you, Miss Keri, is you only can pick two and only two.
Okay.
If you could choose these emotions from a person,
Okay.
emotionally available, rich, has time, only can pick two.
Oh, I would go, damn, that's tough. I would go emotionally available. That's number one. And I would go rich because eventually he'll be rich enough to have time. I might have to wait 5-10 years till he feels like he has what he wants.
Patient.
Yeah, I would be patient for sure.
No.
The average man don't have time. I mean, not rich men have less time.
Yeah. Can you give the men caveats to like understanding like, yo, this is, because there's a lot of men don't really have women advice, unbiased women advice.
Okay.
That's like, yo, bro, like you tripping. Like, hey, send roses, talk to her, send her. You know, that was.
Going to give it. Okay. Well,
Because I really want to know, like, who was Bae?
there is no bae, and there was no bae, but I can recall feelings of how that felt. Like everybody knows what new love feels like, but stick with me because on this album I'm telling a story. Okay. So bae is part of the story. So you got to listen to my album all the way down. You got to listen all the way down so you can understand where that fits in the story. But I'm releasing it in segments. So bae is part of the first segment.
So is it like a 2-disc album? Or
3.
3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gone too long. Like, I feel like I gotta, you know what I mean?
Don't play with him.
I couldn't play. I gotta give you guys like I gotta keep.
Sometimes you gotta remind them like.
Not even that. I just want people that loved me to have what they were waiting for.
Okay.
That's all.
Fair.
I just want people that appreciate what I do to write or clean the house or do whatever they're gonna do to Keri Hilson's music. That's what I want. That's all. That's as far as I think.
Yeah.
I'm not even on no ego stuff. I just want that. But I do want people to listen all the way through. Like, I want people to enjoy the art, because I put a lot into my album. This isn't an album of like random songs that I like.
Yeah.
This is a story. You know, it's kind of cinematic. So.
My last question is,
okay.
We've talked so much about being observant.
Yeah.
We've talked so much about, just understanding, you, but have you healed?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. In a lot of ways.
Where was your most flawed observance?
I'm not sure I understand that.
Like when you...
Where was my most flawed?
Most hurt?
Oh.
What needed to be repaired?
Betrayal. Yeah.
Personally, business?
Both, actually. Wow. Now that you say that, both. And feeling unsafe, feeling unprotected, in relationship and in career, like being betrayed and or abandoned. That experience was dual, so I needed the most healing and acceptance in those areas for sure. Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Good for you.
Thank you.
So when you get that rich.
Emotionally available.
Emotionally available.
Okay, you put them in the wrong order.
Emotionally available.
Okay.
Rich.
Okay.
Young man.
Yes. Old, grown man. Grown man.
Grown man.
We're not going young either.
What's the age stoppage?
I mean, I would go younger than me at this point. Someone in the room is very surprised to hear that, but I would go just a couple years younger than me.
30s?
Late 30s. I would go late 30s.
Is that a stop
30s.
Conversation, we gonna end it right here type of situation? If you observe like, yo, does the career matter?
No.
The career doesn't matter?
No.
Athlete?
No.
Former?
Possibly. Depending. If they are, I'd feel most comfortable if they were well removed from their career. We're talking like if he's 50. You know what I mean?
Does kids bother you?
Do kids? What, a man having kids? Yes. No. No. I've dated men, children.
I done gave so much alley-oops to men.
Yeah, kids. I love kids. I'm like my mom. I love children.
We'll be sliding in them DMs professionally, though. Grown man.
Yeah.
Trying to become they.
They.
Okay, all right. We're going to get into our game. The game is called Pretty Girl Flex.
Oh.
All right?
All right.
And this is for the working class girl, right?
Okay.
So we're going to give you a scenario, and you're going to provide the working class girl with some ways or best advice she should go and could use her pretty girl flex.
Pretty girl flex. Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. You're at a restaurant, and a table full of nice-looking men is sitting across from you.
Where? I'm just kidding.
How do you hit on the one you want?
Oh, John, I don't actually. The one I want is confident enough to get up and come speak to me. Yeah.
You've never hit on a man?
I've hit on a man, but I don't recommend it. I don't suggest. That's not a pretty girl flex to me. I think I just prefer men who are confident. I don't believe in that really. I'm a lady.
I'm a lady.
Yeah, like I prefer,
But what cues? What you gotta give?
I would give cues.
Because that's
I would
the thing.
give cues. I would give cues.
Dude, it don't matter how alpha you are, you're still Keri Hilson. And you're not a girl that's approachable. Because you got team, you got security, you got publicists, you got managers, you got assistants, executive assistant, senior assistant. Like, bruh, it's a whole situation here.
Yeah, I would give cues. Like it would be glances. It would be in the form of glances. And I would try to be as obvious as I can. But my friends say I'm not that obvious. I'm not obvious enough. But I be trying. I try to sing.
Has there ever been an opportunity where they didn't get it? Like the individual didn't get your cues. It's like,
oh, yeah. Yeah. But I can see fear too. Like I can see intimidation. And I'm like, oh, that's not mine then. You know what I mean?
Dang, that hurt. Women like you. are intimidating.
Oh, I hate that too. I hate that because I am really like a serving kind of woman. Like I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm rubbing feet.
That has nothing.
I'm doing. That's nothing. It's energy.
Nobody will ever experience that because when they see you,
Don't say that. Hold on. Don't put that on my life. Where is some wood to knock on?
it sound bad, but it's like, yo,
Damn.
like you.
Nobody?
No, I'm saying.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to make it.
I was trying to process.
It's
all right.
Process it this way. Nobody's going to really look at you and be like, that's the girl that I could go up to and just be like, yo, like, let me get you a drink. You're not a girl that's just gonna be like, let me get you a drink. I'm sorry.
I feel like that has happened.
Really?
Yeah, men have sent drinks.
No.
I don't think they knew who I was.
I'm talking about approaching you like, yo.
Like coming and, okay.
Like, let's go get a drink. You're not that person, and it's okay.
No.
It's your status.
Because I
I'm
am.
talking about your
But that's
status.
y'all thinking for me.
That's cool. That's fair.
Not y'all, but that's men imposing how their preconceived notion upon me. Because I'm really cool as hell.
I experienced that. No, for sure. Like, you are dopey.
Thank you.
Next scenario. A guy invites you to the mayor's ball, and it's out of your budget for the month.
Okay.
How do you ask him to finance your expenses? Now, you probably have money for makeup.
Yeah, okay.
Nails, probably, ball gown, heels, and you got a step. How do you send those cues?
The mayor's ball.
Yeah.
How do you ask a man for money? Ooh, I don't think I have
assistance.
Assistance. Yeah, I could get better at that. Because I think men who are providers, men who are really masculine in that way, sometimes want to be needed and want you to need them in that way. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I could get better at that. I really probably don't have, but let me see. If I were giving this to the average woman, what would I think is a good way to approach that? I think when you're talking to him, I think that it would be, now again, this is I think, because I ain't never did it. I think it can be simple, like, I'm good to go and I'm really excited, but I don't know that I have enough for the dress that I would want to wear next to you. So would you mind, I think it'd be something like that. And a man will hear that, and I think,
sure.
Right? I feel like that would engage him to be like, oh, let me be there. Let me step up to that. I catch your drift and let me step up to that.
This is the thing about being a provider that a lot of women don't give credit to. Sometimes it's not even about an ego thing of you asking. Sometimes we just don't know. It's like, just ask.
Yeah, closed mouth don't get fed.
But that even sounds like, yo, it's like, yo, I'm not the person I find.
It's an awareness that you lack. You're like,
it's not even that
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's
but
like,
if I knew there was a void or a hole to fill, I would have filled it.
With no
qualms,
contingencies. Like, I'm held, man, I just bought you this dress.
Right, no.
It's like, no, you a fly chick, or, I like you enough to think like, yo, we going to the mayor's ball.
Right.
But I didn't think that you didn't have a gown. Like boom. And I will be.
Just didn't think it, yeah. Yeah.
Those things.
Yeah, so I do think it is about that.
Free game for any woman, just straight up ask. Like, be intentional with your ask, and it's ways.
Respectful.
Like, it's the real ones would know. Like, yo.
And compliment him in the process. You're a fly guy. Like, you put it on, and I just want to look good next to you.
There you go.
I want to compliment you well. That.
All right, next scenario. This is fun. A man going through a divorce approaches you and is not fully divorced, but he's in the transition process. He has a lot of characteristics on your list that you check off as things that you would like to be approached by. Grown man. How do you properly proceed to give the masses what it needs?
I think that is a situation, the pretty girl flex in that scenario would be, I see what you got going on, I applaud that, but I do think you're gonna need some time. You know what I mean? I think you're gonna need some time to heal from that. You're in process of a very long, divorce. Marriage is a serious thing. It's a serious thing.
It should be serious.
And it should be, yeah. It should actually be more serious than it actually is these days.
You should cite the source.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. But people need time in between or after living with someone and procreating with someone, if that's the case. Like, I would literally step away. Yeah. Like, I think that's the flex, is being like, once you feel resolved, you know, because men have a tendency to kind of lily pad love. You know what I mean? Like, they're not stepping. A lot of men are not interested in healing. They kind of use women to heal. So I would feel like I'm being approached in that phase. Like, oh, you're trying to use me emotionally to kind of replace what you're about to lose?
No, that's a real thing.
Yeah, so
like you never change, you never get over, you just replace.
Yeah, and that's so unhealthy.
It is.
Like,
it's
everybody needs time to recalibrate and learn and look back and process and not repeat things. You know what I mean? Like, you need time to change. You need time to let the shifts
But there's been
happen.
there's been situations even in that, hey, it's done. I'm not going back there. I'm just waiting on the judge to. But it's.
And I would wait. The pretty girl flex is waiting. If you felt like he really, like, if in your conversations.
Until what? To everything is
until
official?
It's final. I'm of the belief that a man is not single until he's actually divorced. But even then, I think he's still tied and connected to that person for some years after that. You know what I mean? Like, I believe that time and reflection and intention are true separators of a relationship experience.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So you could say that, and I think that a lot of women probably fall for that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going back. Okay, that's great, but you're still there. Emotionally, you're still there.
Last scenario.
Okay.
Have you ever been lied to? I don't even know if that's a scenario, but like, have you ever been lied to?
That's it?
That's it.
Have I ever been like, oh, yeah.
How do you bounce back from that?
I guess it depends.
Because to preface it, it's like we're in Atlanta. And
There's a lot of lying going on in this city, boy.
Don't do that to my city.
It's my city, too.
Don't do that to my city.
But you know it.
My team always talks about how men in Atlanta lie about relationship status. And, understood that, like. But it's not even about lying. It's like, yo, that line can be prefaced with, I'm protecting you. I don't want you to think that I'm on that type. I'm trying to change. And I'm trying to change from lying because I love you or like you or you got so much potential that I don't even want to bring that drama into your life. And as I navigate that drama, and then, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So how do you bounce back from
How
it?
do you bounce back from being lied to? Yeah, it depends on the lie. That's number one.
There's levels of lying?
Yeah, there's white lies that is just like, oh, okay, I can see how that was a protective lie. You know what I mean? Like, am I fat? You know what I mean? I can see how, you know what I mean? A man would be like, no, you look good. You know what I mean? Like, are my arms squishing out of this or whatever, there's, yes. And then there's big ones like, I'm not seeing anybody. You know what I mean? So it depends, or I have no kids. I mean, I be on IG or TikTok looking at story times, and you see that people are denying their whole children out here. Wow. They're denying wives. They're denying their family. Like, it's happening.
Do you have a Finsta?
Do I have a Finsta? Like a fake?
Instagram or a TikTok?
No, I've had one, but I don't think I can access it. Like, I tried to lurk using it, and it like kicked me out of all of my accounts. So, I don't ever use it anymore.
That's real.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all got it.
Yeah,
But
so
I'm
it's
bold. I'm gonna go off of the real cam.
You have one?
No,
you're, yeah.
And I done been around so many people who are toxic in that type of trait. Like, bro, don't view the story, bro. You on your main page. It's like, bro, I don't got no other page. What I got to hide? I want to look at it. I ain't got no time to be playing these little childish games because they go down their story list and they circle, Cam watch my story or keep watching my story. Like, bro, I don't care.
Yeah, that's me. I mean, it's been years since I've had a fake one. So that's me now. But I won't see anything that I don't want anyone to know that I was looking at. So I just will deprive myself. Yeah, just everybody ain't gonna have every Keri Hilson in their views.
I don't care. I just like, look, this is social media, and if it's on there, if I see somebody's icon or thing and that's red, I'm gonna click it.
Really? You bold like that?
I don't care. What you gonna do? Like Cam watched my story? Yes, I did. But what I'm not gonna do though, I'm not a liker.
Oh, okay.
I'm a ghost follower.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna like your picture. I'm
I
not
just
gonna
like
do
to
that.
see it, but you don't need to tap it.
And if I tap it by mistake, I'm gonna tap it. And
Untap it?
Untap it.
Damn.
I wish that was a lot of things in life. I wish I could untap certain situations.
Okay. Yay.
Love that flower.
Okay.
Cause I like, bro, like I'm definitely not commenting. If I comment, I may do the one love. Like I was here.
Okay.
But that's
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
you know?
like I see you.
Respectfully, that's like a signature.
Yes.
But I ain't about to get all into.
Okay.
Damn.
That's good.
So,
I think that's mature.
Miss Keri, it was a plum, pleasing pleasure.
No, likewise.
For your insight, fortitude.
Thank you.
Your ladyism.
Thank you.
Love it. So, as we end things here at Funky Friday, make sure you guys really tap into Keri Hilson's project. I'm excited because as we were observing and listening, like you had the people waiting for a long time.
I did.
You feel me?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Be careful.
Don't let it happen again. Right? I'm a fan. College Park and Decatur linked up. You dig what I'm saying? Must see TV. And it was as we end things here at Funky Friday. When I say all together, we're gonna say one love. When I say all together, we're gonna say one love. When I say all together, we're gonna say what?
One love.
Okay, now that's one part. We're gonna go to each camera. That's my camera, that's your camera, that's our camera, but we're gonna go in unison. The example will be one finger, one pinky, one thumb. And when I say all together, we're gonna say what?
One love.
All right, here we go. You ready?
What's the pinky thumb? What?
One finger to this camera,
Okay.
one pinky to that camera, and then one thumb. You did.
All right.
So, you ready?
Yes.
Don't forget, when I say all together, we're gonna say what?
One love.
Here we go, here we go. One finger, one pinky, one thumb, all together, one love. Ladies and gentlemen, Keri Hilson. Appreciation.
Thank you.
Appreciation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.